Imagine pulling a rare Pokemon card from a booster pack. Raw, it's worth hundreds of dollars. But what if grading it could multiply its value tenfold? What's the catch, and what are the risks involved? Hey everyone, welcome back to Terry's TCG and Collectibles, where we dive into Pokemon investing and collecting. Today we're tackling a big question: is grading your Pokemon cards really worth it? Whether you've been collecting for years or you just started, this is a topic that can make or break your wallet. For PSA, the cost of grading depends on several factors: the declared value of the card, the grading speed you choose, and whether or not you're a member of their grading service. For example, their most basic value service for lower value cards can cost around $25 per card, but it might take months to get your card back. If you're in a rush or grading a more valuable card, you'll need to pay for faster service. The regular tiers start at $75 per card, while their express service is $129 a card right now. And if you're grading something very high end, like a vintage first edition Charizard, you're looking at $250 for the card with Super Express and $500 for the walkthrough. So here's one of the first orders I sent to PSA for grading. I still haven't gotten this order back. I completed the submission on November 27th, and I actually mailed the cards out on, I think, December 2nd, but you could see that estimated total charges is $295.95, and that's for 9 cards to be sent off to get graded. You know, I got 2 151 Charizards in there, Bulbasaur, Wartortle, Muse. Let's take a closer look at what goes into a PSA grade. First up, we've got the PSA 10, also known as a gem mint. And per PSA standards, it says a PSA 10 card is virtually a perfect card. Attributes include 4 perfectly sharp corners, sharp focus, and full original gloss. A PSA 10 card must be free of staining of any kind, but an allowance may be made for a slight printing imperfection. The image must be centered on the card within a tolerance not to exceed approximately 55-45 to 60-40% on the front and 75-25% on the reverse. Now let's look at a PSA 9 or mint condition. This is a superb grade, but it allows for very minor flaws like a slight wax stain or a minor printing imperfection. The centering tolerances are also a little bit more forgiving compared to the PSA 10. Cards graded PSA 9 are still highly valuable, but not quite at the level of a gem mint. When I grade with PSA, I always think in the terms of plus or minus 1. So if I think a card's going to be a PSA 8, I'm thinking it could either be a 7 or a 9. All right, now let's move down to the PSA 8 or the near mint. At first glance, a PSA 8 might look just as good as a PSA 9, but it could have slight fraying on corners, slightly off-white borders, or even a minor imperfection on the surface. This grade is a sweet spot for many collectors because the cards are still in excellent condition. As we go down the scale, PSA 7, PSA 6, and so on, you'll notice that the acceptable flaws become more apparent. These can include light scratches, surface wear, or even off-centered printing. While these grades still preserve the card's value, sought after by high-end collectors. So, is grading your cards worth it? Yes and no. If you have the budget for the grading fees and a bunch of mint condition cards that you think will grade a 10, I'd say give it a shot. But I personally go by, if it's a 10, I send. Typically, cards that grade a PSA 9 or even 8 don't gain any value over the raw copy of the card. So if it's a 10, I send. That being said, make sure to do your research and be strategic about what you grade. You can find the values of the raw copies of cards on TCG Player and other websites. If you guys like the video, leave a comment. I'll try to respond. Thanks for watching.